Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to AV Atmos. Subscribe if you're new to our channel. Let's talk about Birds of Prey. I have seen this film a couple of hours ago, and this is late into the night, and now this is my official review for this movie. It's not a great movie, it's not a good movie per se, so let's just get that out of the way. But let's look at this, guys. It is not a bad or terrible movie. It's not bad. It's actually decent. It's disjointed, more or less. This movie had potential. I'm just going to put it this way: the movie had a ton of potential to be great, and I would probably put this movie not doing so well, storyline wise, more to the director than the actors, because honestly, the acting in this movie was fantastic. Like, I did not have any single problem with any of the actors throughout this movie. It was okay. It was well made. The major person that carried me along throughout the entire movie was Quinzel, played by Margot Robbie. In fact, Margot Robbie was amazing. I've always loved Margot Robbie as this wacky character. Harley Quinn. I've never had a problem with her character. In fact, she is the definition of Harley Quinn. If you're looking for the best character to play Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie actually looks like Harley Quinn. So I really loved her character. In fact, she was the main star that kept me watching this film from start to finish. I get it. This should actually be called a Harley Quinzel movie, not Birds of Prey. This is just more or less a build up to the real Birds of Prey team up. If we are looking at, if we really look deep into the story of the movie, because the Birds of Prey team up didn't really happen till the very end of the movie, and the way it came to be, it was quite wacky and disjointed, and really didn't make any sense in the context of the Birds of Prey in the comic. Now there is a bit of issue that this movie has, and when I left the theater that I come to the realization that this movie has a ton of problems that ruined the experience for me and many other people that have seen it. And that is the fact that they didn't handle the villains well, like Victor Zaz, or whatever his name is, but Victor Zaz wasn't really handled very well. That guy had potential, and if you read the comics, this guy is a one brutal motherfucker. The guy didn't get to do anything throughout the movie. Yeah, he cut some people's faces off, but really he didn't get to show off anything. It was almost as if this movie was just made to show off Harley Quinn beating guys up. Not Hollywood didn't really get any competition in this movie. It was even a disgrace that they had Black Mass talk up big game throughout the movie, only for him to die in the most shittiest fashion possible at the end. I really did. And I actually like the cocaine scene, honestly. This cocaine scene was fantastic. Like, I really like this scene. And Harley was great, but honestly, they didn't just handle the villains right. I think the villains was what put me off throughout this movie. Ewan McGregor playing Black Mass was fantastic, but the delivery of his role was pathetic, because you had a guy that could have killed a bunch of people literally with some really good moves, but you make this guy such a sissy that he had to use Cassandra Cain as 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 uh, as hostage. And seriously, there are some things that just didn't stand out in this film. And like ladies like Black Canary and Huntress being more or less a side note. I actually liked Huntress. Huntress was very good. Huntress was actually very good in this movie. Honestly, in fact, she was one of the very best. If not for Harley Quinn, I would say she outshone virtually every other person. Black Canary was okay, but nothing spectacular. I felt that her acting was okay for what she was given. In fact, I think every character in this film had a good presence to what they were given. Like they did their part well. I don't feel like these actors were underperforming in the acting department. Like they did what they had to do in relation to the to the storyline given to them, like basically to what they had to work with. So I really don't blame the actors one bit. In fact, none of the actors performed badly in this film. The reason why this I'm gonna give this movie a very bad 5/10, and it's not. In fact, I could have given this movie a low 3/10, meaning that it's a bad movie, but I don't want to give it a bad rating, and as well I don't want to give it a good rating, because I'm just in the middle, because there were so many missed opportunities that they could have used to deliver some of the very best action female led movie. And guys, for guys that are actually into the whole female agenda thing, and whether the movie is woke and all that, it's actually not woke. Honestly, I can't even say this movie was woke in any bit. It's not like that ridiculous crappy movie called Captain Marvel from the MCU that I despised last year, that was as woke as hell. This is not it. It's not woke. It's just a mixture of, in fact, the only guy that made it look like it's a little bit woke was Ewan McGregor, but that is to his character. Basically, he's playing the dick. He's just playing that asshole guy that hates women, that wants to kill Harley Quinn. And I don't have a problem with his character. That was the character given to him in the movie, and it is okay for what he got. Honestly, this movie lacked a lot of potential, and I could see a poor production for this film stemming from the director Cathy Yan. She's a new time director. She really doesn't have hands on deck experience in making action film, and I could clearly tell it. Imagine you guys wasting guys like Victor Zazi, even Black Mask. Seriously, guys, this movie really missed a lot of potential, but it's all good. There are a lot of people that will enjoy this movie. This is my personal opinion. There will be people that will love this. People already love it. It has a great RT score, I think 86% right now, and a great audience score around 88%. So it's fantastic. It's okay. Now let's take a look at what it's going to do at the box office, because that is the important part of this content, and that is it's not doing well at all. It's really flopping as we speak. It's just made $4 million from its Thursday night previews, and it actually began from 6 p.m. and it's not looking very good. It only just topped movies like Kingsman, The Golden Circle. It topped the second John Wick 2, Chapter 2, and that movie went on to make $39 million in its opening weekend. Kingsman, The Golden Circle made 39 million, while John Wick made 13.4 million. So this movie is not doing very well. Like, it's looking like it's gonna flop, honestly. But I'm gonna bring you guys a full rundown of the box office on Sunday with the international number, and we shall actually see where it's going to land, how it's going to look like, whether it's going to be good overall. This movie cost about $100 million to make, I think around 85 million, but it's being projected between 85 to 100 million. But it is what it is, guys. It's still an expensive movie that needs to make a lot of money at the box office to justify itself. And from what I'm seeing right now, with 4 million Thursday night previews, it is not looking good. It even made lower than John Wick 3 that made 5 point Shazam, not John Wick 3, but Shazam made 5.9 million in its Thursday previews and went on to make 56.8 million in its opening weekend. So it's not looking very good for Birds of Prey. And I think this is a factor of the bad marketing and the woke narrative that they are pushing in the marketing, and it's not helping this film. Like, you don't push an agenda driven message in your marketing and you expect men to go watch your movie. You can't tell men that they are misogynists, that their time is up in your marketing, and you expect those men to go see your movie. It's already affecting the box office of this film, because it's obvious, because from what I can see on some of the box office side, they're saying women 85% are the ones seeing this film. So if you have a situation where women are seeing this movie more than the guys, you're already driving a bad narrative that is pushing away the core audience that make money for comic book movies, and that is men. Men are the ones that make comic book movies, make this $1 billion that they make. Take a look at Joker from last year. Take a look at virtually all the comic books from last year. In fact, all the comic books from last year made $1 billion, save for Shazam. And even Shazam still broke even. So mostly guys are the ones putting money on the table for comic books, not women. Women more or less follow guys to the theaters. Most women don't just go there to pay their hard-earned money to watch movies. I've studied the way movies work, and women don't really spend that much money in the theaters. It's they follow men to the theater. So if guys ain't going to the theater to pay money for a movie, that movie is definitely going to flop. So be sure to follow us here, guys. I will be covering this movie's box office. By Sunday, it will be updated. I'll bring you guys the full weekend estimates, rundown, and everything you need to know about this movie. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.